Hey, thanks for joining us again on Celebrating Act Two. As you can see, Art and I are with the prolific Herbie J Pilato, TV producer, author, host, TV host, and actor. And oh my, what a long list.
And you know something that is true, and we've read about this a bit, and we've offline talked about this. Uh, but we're primarily have been airing interviews with you on the amazing books, whether it be Connery, Sean Connery,
Yeah.
or whether it be the fabulous Diana Rigg, which we recently talked about. And they're all terrific, and maybe three or four other books, and others that we haven't even gotten to yet, which predated our knowing one another. But you were an actor. You have an acting career. What was that all about? Can you tell us something about it?
Well, I started out as an actor. At least my ambition was to be an actor. Growing up in Rochester, New York, my hometown, we used to live in a factory-lined inner city neighborhood. And what I mean by that is there was a lot of factories in our area. And it was Kodak was like up the block. The Haloid Company, which was the original name of Xerox, was across the street from us. And Rochester is a big, company, factory city in general. IBM, French's Mustard, Ragu sauce, they all came from Rochester, Bausch and Lomb. So I'm saying this because there used to be a loading dock to one of the factories across the street from my house. And me and the kids in the neighborhood, mostly me, that's where we would get up and we'd turn that into a stage and we'd perform like, those Andy Hardy movies, and Mickey Rooney, I was that guy. Let's put on a show,
Yeah, that's great.
So that's kind of where it started. And I always enjoyed singing and dancing and performing as a kid. My father was very talented dancer, but he had no direction. He was not educated. He had to leave school when he was like in 7th grade because his mother died at birth and he was the oldest. So he had to take care of all these kids. So he had like 10 brothers and sisters. So I kind of like inherited his talent. And I became ultimately interested in the industry. And I think on his pushing, on his encouragement, he actually, the one thing that kind of traumatized me though, as a kid, is he wanted me to take dance classes early because he saw that I could dance. And he put me in this dance class that one day, it was all little girls. And everybody had their little tutus on, and I was the only boy, and it kind of traumatized me a little bit.
Yeah.
So I
Wait, your dad wouldn't get you a tutu?
Well, it wasn't that I wanted a tutu, which is I don't think I wanted to be with everybody there and their tutus. I was just very uncomfortable. I was, like I said, 6 or 7 years old. So anyway, so my first taste of acting really started in 1st grade. I was Judas in a 1st grade production of The Last Supper.
Wow.
And I had one line. I was at the table, and one of the other apostles had taken my chair, and I said, "Hey, get up. That's my chair." And that was my line. And I was hooked.
And since then you've played lots of bad guys.
That was really the only bad guy. Later, I played Jesus in Jesus Christ Superstar.
What a range!
And it went from Judas to Jesus, and then Santa Claus in a 7th grade production. And then later on in college, I was Keith Burgess in Stage Door, which later became a movie, not later after me, but earlier was a movie in 1933 with Lucille Ball and Ginger Rogers and Katharine Hepburn and whatnot. So that's really when I started actually acting, was in college. And then I moved to California, and I still wanted to act.
Yeah.
And I thought, though I needed a job, obviously, I wasn't independently wealthy. My parents were not independently wealthy, and or else I probably would have had them
Sure.
just pay for everything all the time.
Sure.
And I got a job at NBC. And that's when I got my job at NBC, because I thought, well, I heard that getting a job as a page was a good way to begin.
Right.
And and everybody says, oh, everybody wants to be a page, you'll never get the job.
By the
Sure.
And I
way,
didn't
you have a book. You have a book about that era, that part of your
I
life.
do.
NBC and Me. Yeah.
NBC and Me, my
Great
life
book.
is a, thank you. NBC and Me, my life is a page in a book, which will one day be a
Mhm.
TV movie. NBC and Me, my life in a TV movie. So
Yeah.
that will happen.
Good.
And I'll have to get a big hair wig to play myself, because I had big hair in those days. So anyway, I became interested in behind the scenes stuff with when I was working at NBC, and the acting I was doing, like General Hospital. I was doing The Bold and the Beautiful. I did the pilot with like 9 billion other extras of Highway to Heaven. That was my first job before NBC, actually. But so I really got interested in the behind the scenes stuff, though. And also I kind of got tired of always worrying about how you look and your hair being perfect and whatnot.
Sure.
So that was kind of, then you'd walk into a room and you'd see other Herbie J's there who looked like you. So how are you going to distinguish yourself? So then, let's see, so I did the NBC thing, and then I started writing, and then my parents around the same time were becoming older and ill. And I thought, you know what, if I can make a living as a writer, which you can do anywhere, then I'm going to just go back to New York to take care of my parents, and I can keep on writing. So that was really the main reason why I stopped acting, is because I just couldn't leave my parents. I could have probably been really successful and hired an aide to care for them 3,000 miles away, but I just didn't want to do that.
No, you did the right thing, and you've written about taking care of your
Right.
parents,
Yes, I had.
and it's a very heartwarming story.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you did
Yes.
the right thing, but of course, the writing, and it's not like writing was a fallback. I mean, you're a very, very good writer, very
Yeah,
talented.
you're really, really
And-
good. We've
and
talked about this a lot of times. Sure.
Oh yeah, you've captured all these wonderful characters, famous actors and actresses that are really part of our culture. So you've had a wonderful career. It kept you busy, but it did take you away from your first love. So what's changed? What's changed now?
I think, well, my parents are gone. They've been gone for like 15 years, and I definitely am very proud of my work as a writer. But I think the big thing is, we all have a thing to do. We all come into this world with our own talents. I can't play basketball. I can't play. There's a lot of sports I can do, but there are certain ones that I can't. I can't count. Okay, so I couldn't be an accountant. So, but I just want to make sure that before I leave this world, that I do everything that I was brought into this world to do, because I do have certain talents. I can sing, I can act, I can write. A lot of people say they can do all those things. I really can. It's just that I never focused on it because for whatever, like I said, for my parents or whatnot. And now that I'm, going to be 65 in the fall, I thought, well, you know what? My potential teen idol days are over. My big hair is gone. And so I thought, maybe I can play the fathers, and God, maybe
Well, as Herbie J, as a director, let me tell you that you've got a great face.
Oh, thank you.
And you're right. The age has given you lines, character lines.
Yes.
I could see you fitting. I first of all, I can see you as a bad guy, even though we know you as a very
Yeah.
sweet, loving, talented writer. I can see you as a bad guy. All
Yeah.
right. But that's the director in me casting. But
Yeah.
I think you've got a great opportunity, um, maybe as a character actor now, not the leading man you wanted to be when you were 20. But yeah, and there's so much more to do. Look at the opportunities. My wife and I are watching a Hallmark Channel series. It's probably 10 years old, but it's a wonderful series. But just think, there was no Hallmark Channel when you started out,
Right.
and think of
It's true.
all of these opportunities of people that are doing what we used to call movie of the week and Hallmark
Right.
series and Netflix and of course all the traditional networks as well. So I think you've picked up on something, and maybe it's a reintroduction for you, but the timing is perfect.
Well, thank you for that. Those encouraging words. I think so too. And and like back in the day, it had to be a star. I had to be a star. And
Yeah.
I probably could have been. I mean, there was a lot of potential there. But what does that mean? I mean, I was well trained, still am. But what does star mean? It just all became kind of meaningless. Again, in caring for my parents, it became, well, my priorities switched. So that was the other part of it too. But I lost the acting aspect of it. I
Mm.
lost the importance of the actual craft of acting. So it's not about stardom this time around. It's
Right.
about making a living at what I love to do,
Hmm.
which is act and sing and dance and all of that.
Sure.
So, and I mean, if the stardom comes, whatever that means, I mean, I don't even know what that means anymore because everybody's a star today.
Yeah.
But if I get the hit series or the hit feature film and I'm making a bazillion dollars, that's fine too, you know. But the most important thing is I just want to get out there and fulfill my talents.
Yeah, but I have
Um,
a question as a fanboy of Herbie J. Pilato, the author. Okay, you're not going to stop writing, are you? Because I just love your books are so complete, particularly the biographies that you do. And you, by the way, for anybody who go to the playlist that we have for you, he does fiction. He just a wide range of, and everything you've written has been outstanding. So I urge you, don't stop writing, even when you're a big megastar. Okay, that you continue to write. Are you working on any projects now, by the way?
well, I have completed one book, which is going to be. I mean, I was doing 5 books there every year for 5 years.
Wow.
Retroactive television, Sean Connery, Diana Rigg,
Yep.
the new Bionic book, and the 12 Best Secrets of Christmas, or excuse me, the 12 Best Secrets of Christmas, and then the Christmas TV Memories book. 6 books. So it was getting a little crazy there for a while. Um, I will continue to write. I do have this one special book, which is going to be different than anything I've ever done. There's also a few other celebrity type books that I still have that I might do. I'm also going to get into scripts. I mean, I'm working on the script for turning the 12 Best Secrets of Christmas into a TV movie and the NBC and Me movie or book
Yes.
into a TV movie. So
Yes. Both.
I'm
But
also,
I gotta just jump in and say that both of those books are based on reality, your
Mm.
experiences,
that's right.
but they are so well written. You can see. I can read commercial breaks here. Oh, that's a commercial break, and the next chapter and the next story, and of course the endings are all wonderful. uh, 12 Days of Christmas, Secrets of Christmas doesn't have an ending per se, but it's a wonderful
Mm.
Yeah, there's
group
like,
of stories.
thank you for all that. There's
Yeah.
several stories. There's probably several TV movies that can come from that.
Oh, absolutely.
And so there might be a series of things. So who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited about it all. And you know what? It's like uh, 60, 65, whatever I'm going to be, it's a number. I'm not going to have any kind of plastic surgery, to get rid of these lines. I mean, I'd rather look like this than this, So I don't think.
But you're still a young guy. You're like our kid brother.
Well, Herbie, I wish you luck with the renewal, the new focus on acting, because you have a great advantage now. Acting is a tough career, as you well know. But your advantage now is that in between the acting gigs, you don't have to wait tables. You can write another book.
That's right. That's absolutely right. And I have my the latest with Herbie J Pilato newsletter. I have Herbie J Weekly on LinkedIn. I have my my Newsbreak column. So yeah, I also have my columns as well that I write. I write for Remind magazine. I write for Retro Fan magazine. I write for Yours Retro magazine. So I got all those others going on. All those.
Yeah, but there are also I've always been surprised, and maybe we'll discuss this offline, is that there are so many retro TV streaming services today. It just seems to me that they need you as a host for one or more of these things. Like TCM has various hosts for the movies. Well, you are a well-established, recognized expert in the early days of television. You've specialized with Montgomery and a few others, but your breadth of knowledge of the what we call the golden age of television is just astounding. And so I'd really like to see you there as sort of like the master of ceremonies of introducing, whether it be a binge watching of My Little Margie or the Ann Southern Show, those kinds of things, Sky King. You'd be great at doing that kind of stuff. So even if you become this runaway best actor and you don't want to talk to us anymore, I hope we'll still get a chance to see you on other things, and you'll have your publicist let us know where you are, just so that we can continue to be fanboys.
Well, maybe I could see myself doing that. When I had my show, then again with Herbie J Pilato, there was talk of me going on one of the networks at that point. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I would still be open to it. Sure.
Okay.
Well, Herbie.
Anyway, this is fascinating. As I say, we know you as a wonderful, wonderful biographer, also as a novelist, writing fiction, but your biographies are just as outstanding. And maybe this is your Act 2.4.5. We can't call it Act 3 because we celebrate our Act 2. So you could be 2 point, and then we'll get into the 100th place and things like that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Herbie, as we say in the theater, break a leg, babe.
Thank you very much, John and Art. You're the best.
To contact Herbie J Pilato, please visit his website at www.herbiejpilato.com.
For more on Celebrating Act 2, visit our webpage, follow us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and tell your friends. Celebrating Act 2 is the user manual for the second half of your life.